Good evening, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair. Thanks so much for joining us for this final session of the evening. Just a couple of announcements before we get started. I want to draw your attention to the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Please use that to ask questions of our panelists. We love to answer your questions. Ask questions about each university, about the college applications. Really anything related to college admission is fair game. And that's the only way you have to interact with us. Your camera and your microphone are turned off, so the panelists won't be able to see or hear you. Also, this is happening again tomorrow, so tune in again. If you would like to see some more of the college fair sessions, sign up for some others. And the presentation is being recorded, so you'll be available online, this one and all the others in about a week's time at strivescan.com/BACS. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter from the University of San Francisco, Kalina.
Hi, everyone. I'll go ahead and get my PowerPoint up here. Welcome tonight. My name is Kalina Chittick, and I'm an Associate Director in our Office of Admission at the University of San Francisco. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm very excited to share a little bit of information with all of you about USF. So just to give you a brief overview, the University of San Francisco is a private Jesuit school, and we're based in the heart of the city. We have about 6,500 undergraduate students. So it's that nice medium size where you really get to know folks in your classes. The average class size is 22, and the student to faculty ratio is 13:1, but also big enough that you get to meet new people all the time as well. Being a private Jesuit school, we have some really strong values that we build into all that we do at the university. So we're really focused around social justice, service to others, and care for the whole person. So you can really see those values both inside the classroom and in a lot of our student involvement and activities outside the classroom as well. You don't need to be Catholic to come to USF. Only about 30% of our students identify as Catholic, and we are welcoming all different faith backgrounds. We are a very diverse campus. We're actually ranked 4th in the country for most diverse student population. So we have students coming from a wide variety of different racial, ethnic backgrounds. We also have 1/3 first-generation students on our college campus, and we have a great Muscat Scholars Program that helps support our first-gen students. We also have a variety of academic programs. We have about 44 different majors and 70 different minors to choose from, so lots happening on campus academically as well. As far as the admissions process goes for USF, we are on the Common Application. So if you're interested in applying, next fall, our application will open up August 1st on the Common App. The Common App allows you to apply to multiple schools through one application. We have one supplemental question on the Common App that's asking you how you connect to our mission and values at the university. We are a test optional school. We went test optional prior to COVID. So it's totally up to you when you're filling out the application to decide whether or not you want your SAT or ACT test scores considered. Totally fine to go test optional. We really review applications the same with or without test scores. Our average GPA this last year was about a 3.54 academic weighted, and the average test score was about a 1240 on the SAT. So we tell students if you're at or above the average, probably worth sending the test scores in. We have made some adjustments with COVID and everything going on. We know that the college search process is, stressful enough, and then to add COVID and everything going on top of it. This last year, we made our letters of recommendation optional for students. So you can choose whether or not you want to submit a test score, or whether or not you want to submit our letter of recommendation. We also know it's been a little bit harder to get connected to maybe your teachers or counselors to write your letters of rec for you. So that's an optional part of our admission process. And then we also are accepting unofficial transcripts for admission review as well. We have 2 deadlines for admission. We have a November 1st deadline for early action and early decision. And then we have a January 15th deadline for regular decision. So you can decide which one you apply for. Just to give you a little bit more context on where we're located, because the city really is a huge part of the campus experience at USF. This is actually a map of the whole city of San Francisco. Our campus is in the center there. We're just about 3 miles away from the main downtown area and just a few blocks away from Golden Gate Park. The city has tons of different events happening. There's 36 different neighborhoods in the city to check out, tons of great food, and it's very easy to get around. It's very compact. It's actually only 7 by 7 square miles. And we give all of our students a public transit pass on your student ID. So you can take the bus or trolley within the city for free with your ID card. One of my favorite parts about the city is that there's still, even though it's an urban center, a lot of outdoor activities for students to do. So since we're close to Golden Gate Park, right south of us and north of us is the Presidio, there's lots of hiking trails, mountain biking, and just green space to explore. So that's one thing I love about our location as well. And then as far as academics go, this lists all of our different majors here. You can also scan the QR code to take you to our website that lists all of them to explore them. As I mentioned earlier, we have about 44 different majors that we offer. And so we have a lot of choices for students. It's okay to come in undecided and explore before you declare your major. We also really support you in the process of that exploration. We really encourage internship experiences. We have a goal for all of our students to do 3 internships before they graduate. And that can be another great way to explore a career that you might be interested in. We do have 2 direct entry programs, so you do have to apply directly into either nursing or engineering to be in those programs. You can't switch your major into them once you're at USF. Those are the only programs like that. The rest, it's very fluid to move in and out of different programs at USF. For our nursing, it is a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and an RN licensing program. And then for engineering, we have 3 different areas of concentration. We have computer and electrical engineering, environmental engineering, and sustainable built systems. We also have a lot in the science areas. We have a great pre-med track if you're wanting to go on to medical school, social sciences like psychology, sociology, critical diversity studies, and then lots of arts programs like architecture, fine arts, performing arts, and social justice. And then we also have a great business school, a school of management that really focuses on different areas and a lot of internship experience there, like I mentioned. If you want to stay in touch after tonight, this is my contact information. You can always reach out if you have questions. And tonight, if you have questions here, please drop your questions in the Q&A box. And you can always put USF specifically in the question so I know you're asking it specifically about our university. But thanks so much for being here tonight. Really excited to just share a little bit of information with all of you. And I hope you all are staying safe and healthy.
Thank you so much, Kalina. And next, we'll be hearing from Ross from Macalester College.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for being here. You stuck it out to the last session at a non-mandatory Zoom meeting. You have exceeded expectations. My name is Ross Braun from Renner. I use the he series of pronouns. I'm an associate director of admissions and a member of the class of 2014 at Macalester College here in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I want to take a moment to intentionally acknowledge what location means today. And I'm going to talk about location and why it's a big benefit of the Macalester experience. But it feels disingenuous to be in my living room in St. Paul today and not discuss the relevance of our location and the fact that a jury rendered a verdict this afternoon that stated unequivocally that accountability is the first step toward restorative justice. And I want to name that and say that all of us at Macalester, including and especially the Black members of the Macalester community and the Twin Cities community, are holding a lot right now. And in light of all of this, I'm really grateful to share this virtual space and to talk a little bit about Macalester and be a part of the continued work that needs to happen to work toward justice. But Macalester College, in a nutshell, now that we've covered quite a bit of ground, we are a small, private, residential, selective liberal arts college, again, in the center of St. Paul, Minnesota. And there are 2 things that I think really make us distinct, where more often than not, if I go back to any current students at Macalester, matriculating students, they often point to one of 2 things that got Macalester on their list, kept Macalester on their list, or ultimately were a big part of why they made the leap to go to Macalester.
Ross, I'm sorry to interrupt. You're not sharing your screen.
I'm kicking it old school.
You mean, okay, sorry.
No, you're totally, I am seeing a list of sessions though that I'm not sharing, so.
We can just stop that and it can be just
cool.
you.
Yeah, no, I'm just happy to be here if that's all right.
Great. Yeah, that's perfect. Sorry, I was just so sorry. I thought you maybe had it.
Nope, that is a totally good call out and
Sorry to
something that I have done before. I've talked over what I thought was a screen share. Instead, you just get a weirdly only one side lit view of my living room. Location is one of those things that really jumps out. Again, we are in the city of St. Paul. It's a state capital. We're 15 minutes from downtown, 15 minutes from the airport, 15 minutes from major metropolitan hubs and things to do. And those are opportunities for exploration of food and music and art and culture and whatever it may be, service, things that really speak to you and your experience about what you can get beyond our campus. I hear our students describe it a lot of the times as the best of both worlds, in that you get that small, tight-knit, residential liberal arts campus. You stand in the center. You could be on any college campus in America. You walk out on the northwest corner of our campus. It's 4 lanes of traffic and 2 intersecting bus lines. There's an MLS stadium down the street, and you get that vibrancy right there too. The second thing is our mission. We have 4 core values in our mission. It's a commitment to academic excellence, to internationalism, to multiculturalism, and to service. And right off the bat, if those values resonate with you, if those are things that you hold as core values, things you hope to engage with more, conversations you're interested in having, even when, and especially when they are challenging conversations about diversity, equity, inclusion, about identity, about cultural competency, about global citizenship, if those are things you know you want to be brought into your college experience, I imagine you're going to find a really great sense of belonging here at MAC. We are a very mission-driven institution, and we draw a community from all around the country and all around the world who tend to seek out that mission, knowing it's something they're looking for down the road. So again, when I think about Macalester, I use the word distinct. I don't use the word unique in higher education because it's almost always wrong. There are so many wonderful institutions doing so many things. But a distinctness even among other small liberal arts colleges. A couple of wonderful colleges you will hear from later this evening are great representations of that as well. The tight-knit, the small classes, the name not a number style communities. Even among those institutions, I think Macalester stands out for our location and for our commitment to and specificity of our mission. To that end, I hope that this process tonight has left you with the understanding that the college admissions process is humans. We're all here behind it. We're happy to help. I'm a Bay Area native. I've got my little Golden Gate Bridge there in the background. So if nothing else, if you have questions about weather that's not in the Bay Area, I've spent a decade in the Bay and a decade in the Twin Cities where there's a tiny bit of snow sometimes. So we're more than happy to be a resource moving forward. Many of us still work from our living rooms. We check email like it's our favorite hobby because it often is. So if nothing else, I want to thank you for your time, for sticking around, for your interest in learning more about our schools. And if we can help in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you so much, Ross. And next we'll be hearing from the University of Redlands.
Alrighty, hello everyone. Let me just get my screen going. Sorry, I'm always the worst at these. Alrighty, here we are. Alrighty, my name is Dulce Garcia. I'm an admissions counselor at University of Redlands. We are a small private liberal arts university in Southern California. Just to let you know a little bit more about location, we are centrally located in SoCal, so we're close to beaches, mountains, desert, LA, Anaheim, all those really great areas that you'd want to be around for college. University of Redlands is really close to a lot of really great attractions, but University of Redlands is located in the city of Redlands, which is a really great destination in itself. Redlands was named one of the best college towns by AAA magazine a few years ago. So definitely a great place to call home. Definitely one of the biggest perks is that we do have an average 80-degree day, which is pretty awesome. We don't really experience winter out here. So just a little bit more about University of Redlands. We are a small university. We have 2,500 undergraduates. We do have a pretty expansive campus, 160 acres, so pretty great atmosphere with a really large campus, but small population. We're a residential university primarily. Most of our students do live on campus. We do have a 4-year housing guarantee, and approximately 70% of our students do take us up on that offer to reside on our campus for the full time. Redlands prides itself on a diverse and inclusive community. So we'll share a little bit more about that. But the most important thing about Redlands is that our mission statement says that we want to educate the heart and the mind of the scholar. So we really value the education that comes from the academic portion, which is educating the mind, but also the education that is coming with all of your experiences, all of your extracurricular activities, all of those things that you are passionate about. So combining those two things, we really believe as an institution will help you to become a better person, more well-rounded, and able to serve communities around you just a little bit better. So student life at Redlands is pretty robust. Like I said, most people live on campus, so it's a very tight-knit community. There's a lot of ways to be involved on our campus. We do have over 100 clubs and organizations to be involved in. So we do have Greek life, if that's one of your things that you're interested in. We also do have athletics. We're pretty competitive in athletics. About 75% of our sports rank nationally. We are a Division III institution. So if you have any inquiries about athletics, definitely check us out. One of the most important things about student life at University of Redlands is that we actually do have a commitment to service, so much so that it is actually a graduation requirement. Each student must complete 80 hours of service before they leave University of Redlands. So we really believe that this allows our students to think a little bit more critically about things that they are learning in the classroom, experiencing in a more academic setting, and then having the ability to have a participation in the community. So lots of ways to be involved, but it's one of the main portions of what we offer at Redlands. As I said earlier, we really do pride ourselves on being a diverse institution. We are in Southern California, so a pretty diverse part of the world. We do have about 50% of our students who identify as students of color and about 32% of our students who are the first in their families to go to college. So we do have a variety of programs and offices to really support our students as they are going through that college experience. We do have the Multicultural Center, the Pride Center, the Gender Justice Center, the Native Student Programs, First Generation Student Programs, and the Office of International Student Scholars. So lots of ways to get involved and lots of opportunities for support. And this just gives you some insight into athletics. Like I said, 21 sports in Division III. We do have a plethora of support services and resources for our students. Some of the most important ones are going to be tutoring, academic support, and on-campus counseling. So our students definitely have that benefit as they are enrolled in our campus. On the academic side, University of Redlands has a very personalized education. We have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio with the average classroom being 18 students. So really a great interactive experience, the opportunity for you to be able to inquire about any subject that you are learning about, be able to create close connections with faculty members and engage with others. Here are some of the programs that we offer at Redlands. We do have over 40 majors, so there's quite a bit. They're pretty diverse. They range from business, biology, to creative writing and theater arts, so quite a bit for you to choose from. Some of our stellar programs are going to be the Johnson Center for Integrative Studies and the School of Music. The Johnson Center caters to those students who want to create their own major and kind of march to the beat of their own drum. So if you're interested in something like that, Redlands is definitely the spot. The University of Redlands is also one of the oldest schools of music in the state of California. It is conservatory style education. So if that's something that interests you, great, we offer that. Another big portion of our experience at Redlands is that we do send our students away for a study abroad experience. It is a really big experience at Redlands. About 54% of our students will have an opportunity to do so. We do have over 100 destinations, and we do have our own castle in Salzburg, Austria featured here. So your future is very important to Redlands. Over 90% of our students are going off to grad school or the workforce within a year of leaving the institution. We do have a four-year graduation guarantee, which is also important in the state of California. So just really quickly about admissions, we do accept the common application. We do a holistic review. We are a test optional institution. So whether you want to give us some test scores or you think that those don't really represent you well, that's really your call. We do have 3 different deadlines on 2 different dates: early decision and early action, which are both on November 15th, and regular decision on January 15th. We do offer financial aid to our students. We do offer merit and need-based financial aid, as well as talent-based scholarships. So if you have any questions about University of Redlands, please feel free to stay connected with us. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to talk to all of you very, very soon.
Thank you so much. And next we'll be hearing from Skidmore College.
All right. Hi, everyone. Let me just go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, great. Is that showing up okay, Josh?
Yep, it looks great.
Great, wonderful. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Noah Jenkins. I'm an assistant director of admissions at Skidmore College, and I use he, him pronouns. I'd like to take the next couple of minutes to share a little bit more information about our school with you. But of course, it is always hard following up some other really wonderful liberal arts schools who are also here today. As Ross said, there are very many similarities between our schools. So hopefully I can show you a little bit about what might make us stand out. All right, so I'll start off by giving you all a look at our campus from above. Skidmore is a private liberal arts school located in Saratoga Springs, New York. Our enrollment is around 2,500 students, and it is entirely undergraduate, meaning that there's no master's or PhD programs that we offer here. All of our students are studying at the bachelor's degree level. We have an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which is pretty competitive even for small colleges, and provides a lot of personalized attention between you and your professors. And we offer about 40 different programs across the arts and sciences. Our students come from 40 states around the US and also 60 different countries around the world. I know that folks on the West Coast might not be super familiar with upstate New York geography, so here is a look at where we're located within the state. We're about 30 minutes north of Albany, which is the capital of New York, and then we're about 3 hours equidistant between Boston, New York, and Montreal. But Saratoga Springs is a destination in its own right, too. There are a lot of reasons why people come to the area, and it's actually been a tourist destination for over 200 years. In the early 19th century, people came to the area for the mineral springs, which gave the city its name. Around the time of the Civil War, horse racing was introduced into the community, and that continues to be a major tourist attraction even today. Saratoga Springs has also emerged as a hotspot for arts and culture within the capital region. A great example of this is the Saratoga Performing Arts Center, which is the photo in the top middle of your screen. This is a venue that does concerts throughout the year. They also host the New York City Ballet and the Philadelphia Orchestra for a week-long summer residency each summer. And this is also the venue that hosts Skidmore's graduation. So our students will see it at least once during their 4 years. What's so great for our students, I think, is that, the town has really grown around this tourism economy and has grown to accommodate the massive influx of people during the summer months. But even after all the tourists leave at the end of the summer, those businesses downtown, the shops, the restaurants, the museums, they remain open throughout the year. So it provides this really awesome environment for our students to live and explore and learn and grow in over their 4 years. This is a look at our list of academic programs in case any of you were curious about that. Our most popular majors at Skidmore at the moment are business, English, psychology, political science, and studio art. We are definitely a college that is well known for our programs in the arts. And actually an interesting point there is that for many of those programs, including studio art, theater, and dance, they will actually lead to a Bachelor's of Science degree as opposed to a BA or a BFA. That's a little bit different, something that I haven't encountered at many other universities. And the reason behind that is that those particular majors are taught from a pre-professional standpoint. I have also included on this page some information about some of our early assurance programs and articulation agreements. These provide students with an alternative pathway through partnering institutions to degree programs in areas like nursing or engineering that we may not offer at Skidmore, but this would provide them a chance to kind of have a solid foundation with the liberal arts with a degree from us, and then provide them with a chance to enroll in these programs at some other colleges that we're affiliated with. So a phrase that you will often encounter when you're looking at Skidmore is creative thought matters. That's something that you'll hear a lot, and really it's a philosophy that sort of undergirds the entire experience for our students and faculty. We really want them to start making connections between seemingly disparate areas of the academic spectrum and finding cool ways to bring those two things together. A great example of this is actually this photo right here on the screen. This was an art and chemistry collaboration that happened a few years ago called Molecules That Matter. The professors and students who were involved with it went about creating these large models of different compounds that were influential throughout the 20th century. And you can actually still see these on display around campus in certain parts of the college today. I think that, another real strength of Skidmore is just the investment that we put into these experiential learning opportunities outside of the classroom. I've included some of the statistics here on this page, but 20% of our students get to participate in undergraduate research with our faculty. Again, being an entirely undergraduate university, this is a really great advantage to have that opportunity to work alongside them and really get to know them on a personal level. 80% of our students will complete at least one internship during their 4 years. 60% will go abroad at least for one semester. And there's quite a bit of financial support available for different career exploration opportunities and professional development too. In terms of campus life, some key things to note about Skidmore is that we don't have any Greek life, so no fraternities or sororities here. As a result, I think our 100+ student organizations play a pretty big role in providing an opportunity for students on campus to form communities and kind of unite around common interests. In addition to those clubs, we also have 19 Division III varsity teams for athletics. And our campus is primarily residential, so most of our students will live on campus for all 4 years. In total, it's about 92% that choose to do that. And one of the major perks of living on campus is, of course, access to our food. Our dining services has been highly rated by different publications, so you will definitely be very well fed as a Skidmore student. All right, so I'll just kind of close out quickly with a little conversation about our admissions and financial aid policies. So we are a Common App and Coalition App school. We have 2 rounds of early decision and 1 round of regular decision. The deadlines are located here in the top right of your screen. We are a test optional college and have been for about 5 or 6 years and plan to even after the pandemic passes. I've included some of our average scores here to give you all an idea of what those typical scores are for us. And do note as well that we will accept self-reported test scores, so you don't have to pay $12, $13 to College Board or ACT to let us know how you performed on those tests. And then for financial aid, we do meet 100% of students' demonstrated need. We'll look at the FAFSA and the CSS profile together to calculate your family's income and assets and ability to pay for your education. And while most of our financial aid budget is dedicated to meeting need-based aid, we do have 2 merit scholarships, one for math and science and one for music, both valued at $15,000. All right, so I think my time might be up, but thank you all. And yeah, please feel free to connect with me afterwards if you have more questions.
Thank you so much, Noah. And next, we will hear from Babson College.
All right, thank you so much. Just going to share my screen real quick. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of your time to learn about Babson College tonight. My name is Carly Ryan. I am a Senior Regional Assistant Director here at Babson, and I will be located in Southern California to work with all students out on the West Coast. So if anyone does have any questions, we can absolutely connect a little bit later and talk about Babson. I know you're getting a lot of really good information tonight, so I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about Babson and a little bit about our school. We're located in Wellesley, Massachusetts, and there are 4 areas tonight I want to touch on. First, details about academics, then student life, career outcomes, and finally, the admission process. So Babson College educates entrepreneurial leaders who create great economic and social value everywhere. This is something that we always like to talk to our students about since Babson is a business school. Entrepreneurial leadership is something extremely important to us here at Babson. We focus and teach it really right from the start of coming to campus. Our students who are coming in are leaders in their community already. So once they get to campus, they're amplifying those skills too. And maybe it's something, thinking about starting your own business, which of course we have the entrepreneurship here. Maybe it's something within the business industry or anywhere in between. Here at Babson, we have a lot of resources to help you, in small classes. We're going to teach you how to take risks, think outside the box, not be afraid of failure, and if failure does actually present itself, how to pivot from that. So a lot of really good real world skills in any industry that you may end up in. Babson's been rated #1 in entrepreneurship for 24 years and counting. So whether you have a business idea already, or if you do find yourself as an advocate for economic and social change, or again, anywhere in between, Babson's a great place to be. We have a lot of different academic options, which I will touch on soon, but I did want to just take a second to mention our location. So as I mentioned before, we're in Wellesley, Massachusetts, about 10 miles outside of Boston. Students can access the city really easily from campus, whether that's for social reasons or for internships, for different career opportunities. But we do kind of have two options here for whatever you're looking for. We have an all-enclosed, beautiful green campus for students, very walkable, kind of very quintessential New England campus. But then we also have a hustling and bustling city in close proximity. So whatever you're feeling that day, we have that option. And this is just a quick overview of our class of 2024. We're looking for about 600 students per class, so a total undergraduate population of about 2,400 students. We have students coming from all over the United States and all over the world. If you take a look here, you can see a lot of different students belong to our campus here. And students are really encouraged to not only learn from each other's different backgrounds and cultures, but to teach from their own experiences. So we really love how global our campus is and what everyone brings to the table. Students can bring their experiences also to the classroom, where we like to keep our classes small. You'll learn directly from our professors, where we have a 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class of about 30 students. Our admit rate is about 27%, so we do offer early action, early decision, and January regular decision. And then we are a test optional school for the near future. So if you take a look right there, you can see some of those ranges that if you did want to submit your test scores, you're absolutely able to. If you do not, that is no problem at all. So our students, Babson blends business with liberal arts. You're going to take about 50% of courses within the liberal arts. We want to give our students a background in thinking, reading, writing, all things that in any industry are really, really important. We do not have a traditional major minor program here. Our students will graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Business. And we offer 27 concentrations to complement that degree. So those can actually be found on our website, but they range in a lot of different topics. And from there, you can customize your major and your career path for what you're thinking that you would like for it to be. Again, business here at Babson is something we do really, really well, since it is our only major that we have for our bachelor program. So students are feeling really confident because we've poured all of our resources into our business degree. They can take that next step and further their education and their career. We do look for experiential learning, or we do teach experiential learning here at Babson. Every college, of course, teaches you how to think, but here at Babson, we teach you how to do as well. These are a few hands-on experience courses that we offer. FME is where you'll start your own business as a freshman with a group with funding from the college to get that business to come to life and actually sell some products there. And whatever you earn will be donated to charity of your choice. McPhee is a consulting class that you can work with different companies. We've had students recently work with Dunkin' Donuts and with the Boston Red Sox. And you'll submit, companies will submit projects in things like marketing, sustainability, web tech, social media, and the students will work with the employees on these companies. And then here's getting involved. We have 22 Division III sports, 100+ student clubs and organizations, Greek life on campus, and our course are close to Boston. And being a smart investment, we have a 99% placement rate, where the class of 2019 were either employed or attending grad school within 6 months of graduation, which this number actually stacked for the class of 2020 as well. About 90% of our students are completing internships during their undergraduate career here. You can see a little bit on the return of investment statistics right there. And then finally, our financial aid, we looked for the FAFSA and the CSS profile, and Babson does meet 100% of demonstrated need for financial aid. If you want to contact us, if you have any more questions about Babson, I'd be happy to answer anything. Please reach out over the chat or email if there's anything I can help you with. But thank you again so much, and best of luck to you all in your college process.
Thanks so much, Carly. And finally, we'll hear from Whitman College.
Thanks so much, Josh. Much appreciated. I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I know you've listened to a lot of presentations at this point, so thank you all for your patience and your engagement here. essentially, you're going to hear all sorts of different grades, small schools, big schools. I'm here to talk about specifically why Whitman might be different than some of the other schools you may have learned about. And this, to me, actually going to a similar liberal arts school on the East Coast growing up, whereas Whitman is in Walla Walla, Washington, out in the Pacific Northwest. To me, there are a few key reasons why Whitman is such an intentional choice to apply. And it starts with the academic picture. Certainly, Whitman is one of the more rigorous institutions in the Pacific Northwest, but also with liberal arts colleges across the country. And it boils down to a couple different things. You're going to have 50 different majors and minors to choose from, so that academic flexibility is really key. And the rigor is also quite unique too. This rigor, I think, thrives from the fact that students are constantly in and out of the classroom learning through experiential processes. They have the potential to double major, combine their majors, even create their own, called an individually planned major. Last summer, a student created the astronomy and physics department and blended it into an astrophysics major. So you're going to have a lot of flexibility in your wheelhouse to reimagine what kind of curriculum you want to pursue. And you're going to be working with advisors closely to do that. We know that high-level academic rigor isn't possible without individualized support. And you're going to get that at the faculty and deans of students level, but you're also going to have it with peer tutors and people in your residence hall system, beyond just RAs and resident directors, even student advisors, people who are there to help you as academic resources within your own residence hall. But across all your classes, you're also going to see varied styles of learning. As a very small school with only 1,500 students, you're going to have just as much back and forth discussion in your humanities courses as you will in STEM-based courses, along with the research and lab opportunities too. So that varied style of learning will keep you very engaged. And it's one of the best places to be, I think, particularly during a pandemic where there are restrictions, because you're constantly getting substance out of every single class you take and having meaningful conversations with your peers and your faculty. Now, I think it's also really important to consider why students choose Whitman and apply to Whitman. And a big part of it is the community itself. With only 1,500 students and being in a town of 30 to 35,000 people that's spread out 3 or 4 hours in every direction from major cities, you are there for the community without any question. And I think it goes a long way even to show you, of all the statistics you'll read online, you'll see 95% of faculty live within 2 miles of campus. This is the kind of place we live, where people come to Walla Walla and come to Whitman to be with each other and to really make meaningful bonds that will go a long way. You may get involved in the athletic scene, the outdoor program, the debate team, the music and theater performance scene, whatever lane you choose out of 100 to 120 different organizations on campus, you're going to find your crowd and you're going to develop long-lasting relationships. These are residence halls where at the most you'll live with 120 to 140 people. And you're actually going to know their faces and really make connections as opposed to just passing by them and forgetting about them down the road. When people live off campus, mostly during their 3rd and 4th years, they're living in very tight-knit groups of apartment-based housing and making these connections that will go far beyond their time. I think it speaks volumes that even as a non-Whitman alum, I meet with Whitman alum all the time in terms of partnering with students and helping with project development. And they are so generous with their time, no matter whether you went to Whitman or not, because this is the kind of human connection and relationship building that gets done here. These are partnerships that will last you a long time, both on campus and off. And finally, when it comes to the location itself, I should acknowledge that Whitman is on the land of the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation, the indigenous people of the Walla Walla area out here in Southeast Washington. And it's a very present factor, I think, in our campus goings. Students are constantly thinking about the monuments and statues that are on campus and who we pay homage to in terms of our founders and the atrocities they committed. They're constantly working with the community and the indigenous peoples to make sure that they are paying respect to the land they're on and taking full advantage of the resources without infringing or stepping over. But the town itself and the way it interacts with the campus is so unique. Being in Walla Walla, you're going to have a chance to work in almost every single industry, whether it's education, healthcare, tech, nonprofit, agriculture, and it's a very codependent relationship. The town of Walla Walla wants students both at Whitman and the other schools in the area to engage, to take on volunteer and internship roles, and to get that kind of professional development while you're at a liberal arts school will go such a long way to making sure you are prepared to succeed post-college. I think that's the ultimate question you should be asking with a lot of small schools is how do I balance this academic variety and flexibility if I don't know what I want to study with the ability to get tangible hard skills that I know will help me succeed in graduate school or in the job market. And I think Whitman and Walla Walla do a fantastic job at providing that, even more so than a lot of other small schools. Finally, I'll leave you with some overall admission financial aid information for you to file away and maybe take a screenshot of. You'll see some of the deadlines we have. I feel extremely lucky to be working at Whitman in the admission department because, as I mentioned, it is a very intentional choice, and we don't get the same application volume as a lot of our counterparts across the country in terms of top liberal arts schools. And that means we can admit many, many more students than other colleges, or rather have a much larger acceptance rate. So each year, our admission rate hovers around 40 to 45%, a far cry from the most selective institutions across the country. And yet you're still going to get that rigor and individualized support. So please be in touch if you'd like to apply and really chat more and learn about Whitman, particularly for you California students. That's one of our biggest feeder states, and so many people like to venture up to the Pacific Northwest for all of the beautiful scenery and community that we do have. So you'll see my information here in the chat. Please don't be a stranger. I'm always around to contact and talk via email or even set up a Zoom call, and we will chat about any concerns you have. But thank you for your time, and I'll turn it back over to Josh.
Thank you so much, Henry. And we have just a couple of minutes left. If you still have any questions you want to direct to any of our presenters, you can do so now in these last few minutes. And I'd like to ask all of my colleagues if they could turn on their cameras and join me here. And just in this last few minutes, while you're asking any remaining questions, I'll ask each of them if they could just give us one quick, maybe 30 seconds or less, an interesting or fun fact about your college. Maybe it's a famous alum, perhaps it's a unique program you have, a fun campus tradition, really just anything that makes you a little bit different. Let's start with the University of San Francisco.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share a fun tradition that we have. We've got a wolf statue right in front of our library on campus. And this tradition that we do is called the Midnight Howl. And the night before classes start every semester, students gather in front of the statue and howl. And so it's just a good, fun way to kind of let out some stress, especially before you start the semester, and kind of come together as a community as well. So that's one quick kind of tradition that we have at USF.
Cool. Thanks. Ross from Macalester.
I'll keep the theme being loud noises in that Macalester is the Macalester Scots. Our mascot has Scottish heritage, and we therefore honor that by offering free bagpipe lessons to every member of the Macalester community. And for those of you who have never heard someone learning to play the bagpipes, I imagine it's not a soundscape you've heard before. So it's a little bit novel and a little bit fun.
The University of Redlands.
Yeah, so one of our fun facts is that we are the Bulldogs. That's our mascot. And we actually have a live mascot. Her name is Addie. She's the first female mascot at University of Redlands. We've had one since 1918. So she's pretty special. She is the Queen of Redlands. You should definitely follow her on TikTok and Instagram because she is a mini celebrity at Redlands.
And Skidmore College.
Yeah, kind of keeping with the theme of animals and mascots. For us at Skidmore, as I mentioned, the horse culture of Saratoga Springs is something that permeates our campus too. Our mascot is the thoroughbreds, and actually our campus safety officers keep 2 horses that they actually ride around campus. And hopefully sometime in the future, when we're able to reopen for large open houses, they usually bring those out to meet with our visiting students. So hopefully sometime in the future, you'll be able to meet Lady and Laddie.
And Babson College.
Sure. So we had some pretty cool alumni come through our doors. One actually is the co-founder of Home Depot, and the other was the founder of Ring Doorbell Systems. So some really notable alums have gone to start some pretty cool businesses.
Awesome. And last word goes to Whitman College.
So the famous crop of Walla Walla is called the Walla Walla sweet onion. I just cooked with it tonight. And every summer, all of our enrolled students, you will get sweet onions in the mail full with a set of recipes that are the famous Walla Walla sweet onion cookbook recommendations. So can't recommend highly enough. They are can't miss here.
That's awesome. I love you send them onions. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you so much to everyone on the panel, and thank you to all of you students, parents, and counselors who stuck with us this evening. When you close your window, there will be a quick link or a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We really appreciate the feedback you can provide there. And as I mentioned at the beginning, this session and all of the sessions tonight were recorded, so you can revisit them later. In about a week. They should be online at strivescan.com/BACS. Again, thank you so much to my friends on the panel. You all have a great evening, and we'll see you all again soon. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.